I'm
not
not.
having a writing
I'm
utensil, she
so
could have
not.
said what she
Let,
was.
I'm finna say it. Let's get this party started. So, like I said, I tried to do my best to put these in order as they came out or as I heard them. I may be completely wrong. But let's go ahead and get into the Supreme Court decision on the Alabama's mapping.
Pardon me.
The Supreme Court has issued a key ruling on voting rights, finding Alabama's election map violates the Voting Rights Act. The ruling is considered a huge win for the act and Section 2, which protects against racial discrimination in voting. 27% of Alabama's electorate is black, but the Republican-led legislature drew only one majority black district out of the state's 7. Now the court is ordering officials to draw a second majority black district. Let's bring in senior Washington reporter Devin Dwyer, along with ABC News legal contributor Asha Rangappa for more. Devin, Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Brett Kavanaugh sided with the liberal majority in this case. How significant is that?
A very significant case and a very significant breakdown, Diane, and this goes far beyond Alabama. This is a major rejuvenation of a landmark voting rights law passed in 1965 meant to prevent racial discrimination in voting nationwide. The ripple effects from this will be significant. They will be sweeping. In this case, though, Alabama Republican legislature had drawn election maps after the 2020 census, and as you said, they only created one majority black district. That was challenged in court. And today, the Supreme Court said that map with one majority black district, you see it there with a state with 27% of voters being black people, is a violation of the Voting Rights Act. It's discriminatory. It dilutes black voting power in that it limits their ability to choose a candidate that they would prefer in that state. And effectively, it means they'll now have to go back to the drawing board, draw a second map. That means perhaps a second black Democrat in Congress down the line. It will change how voters go to the polls in Alabama, but it will also now mean that the Voting Rights Act will remain a key protection for other challenges nationwide as people start to press back against what they see as racial gerrymandering in how we conduct elections.
Asha, what does this mean for the 2024 election and the electoral process moving forward?
Well, Diane, it means that maps can continue to be challenged under the same criteria that has been in place for the last 37 years under court precedent. What the court said is we're not changing the rules that we've had in place. We're keeping the law as is. The lower court got it right. We're not going to adopt this new novel approach, which would not take into effect discriminatory effects of the map. And this is pretty significant because we do have a court that is trying to move in a completely race-blind direction. I will note, though, Diane, that this map, which they have determined is illegal, was actually allowed to be put into effect in the midterms in 2022. And similar maps also that will probably be illegal under the court's decision today were allowed to go into effect. So in many ways, the impact is more retrospective in terms of what has already happened rather than prospective, which will allow things to remain the same.
All right, Devin, Asha, I have so many more questions, but I'm out of time. Thank you both.
So the only thing that popped in my head is literally two things. First of all, thank you for at least trying to control legalized gerrymandering. But what damage has already been done with the 2022 midterm election? You already put the mapping thing in effect, so to speak. You already got the local people, your local state people that you wanted, that you was trying to go. So I don't know. I literally want to see what the new map look like before I say this is good, because yeah, you can't put them all in one big all the black people in one big corner and go, hey, there you go. But I want to see what the new map looks like before I say that this is good news. And I want to see, when do it go into effect? Will it please be done before 2024? Or are you going to wait till the 2024 election is over and then go, okay, you're right, we need to go ahead and change this? So there's my thoughts on it.
I think this is, I got so many feelings about this. We live in a country where Black people have to have our voting rights renewed every 25 years. We've had several presidents and nobody has thought to make our voting rights permanent. We're just all sitting here and just waiting every, 25 years? This whole thing is ridiculous. Gerrymandering is ridiculous. What do people expect the Republicans to do? I'm kind of just tired of it. I want, whether it's a Democrat, independent, because there's no way I probably ever vote Republican. Somebody just proposed that voters' rights be permanent, and let's just get this whole stupid, silly discussion over with. That's the main thing that needs to happen. I know that doesn't have anything to do with what they're, well, it kind of does. Kind of does have something to do with it, but it's just frustrating. The Voters' Rights Act was last recertified in what, it had to be the 90s. Or was it
I think George W. Bush was the last one to do it.
Yeah, he was the last one that did it. So that means we gotta wait. We gotta do this all over again. I'm just like, come on, this has to stop. We need permanent. Stop going through this every 25. Stop it. Stop doing it. It don't make sense. Either we're citizens or we're not citizens. And if we're not citizens, stop taking my tax money. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think people want the answer to your question, Tracy. But okay, so I feel that the decision is good. Anything that no, because Marlon was saying he's not sure how he really feels until he sees how it rolls out, which I get that sentiment, but just on the merits of,
on his basis, this is a good idea.
This is still good because although, like, okay, so one of the problems with our broken system, we call it broken. I think it's whatever. But one of the problems with this system is you have to challenge things through the courts, but you can put things in place until the courts overturn them. So like what Marlon was getting at, the damage was done for 2022 because they knew we can go ahead and do this. And then if it's overturned, shucks, we already got the wins that we wanted though.
Yeah.
Where this is still though a very valuable thing is while it can't do anything for 2022, Alabama is already a rough place for Black rights anyway. Okay. So at least with this particular decision, that then impacts visibility across the nation for the rest of the Old South that is still trying to get some of these things in place. So that's one benefit. Then also, it will help with 2024. So that's another benefit. Now, the new map that comes out is going to be jacked up too. It's just going to be, they follow the rules better. But they still are going to find a way to manufacture a very similar outcome. So I'm with you, Marlon. I agree with you. It's just that other part where I would say it's still very valuable what did occur in that particular respect.
Okay. You got anything, Anna?